Open Sky Wilderness Therapy was kind enough to sponsor tonight's event. They've worked with thousands of students and family members during their 12 years in Durango and employ about 200 people in the region. Open Sky transcends traditional wilderness therapy by emphasizing treatment for the whole family, not just adolescent or young adults. Their students experience physical health through hiking and outdoor living. We have Jonny Radding, graduate of Fort Lewis College and managing partner at Durango Organics, which first opened as a medical marijuana dispensary in 2010 and has since transitioned to a recreational retail dispensary. He's been a long advocate for legalization of marijuana and continues to fight for the legitimate treatment of marijuana industry throughout the state. Radding will discuss how Durango Organics started and how the organization is working to keep marijuana out of the hands of children and minors.
My name is Jonny Radding. I'm one of the owners of Durango Organics. I'd first like to thank the Durango Herald and the Durango Diaries, as well as Open Sky for inviting us here tonight. So thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity. A little background on myself and Durango Organics is I moved to Durango in 1990. I'm a graduate of Fort Lewis College, a sociology major. My business partner and good friend, Aaron Miles, and I opened up Durango Organics April 2nd, 2010. And we were the third medical marijuana shop to open here in the city of Durango. Soon after we opened, the Colorado Department of Revenue created the Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division to help regulate this new industry and the influx of new shops that were opening up throughout the state. The city of Durango and La Plata County also drafted their own regulations soon after. One of the primary functions of the Marijuana Enforcement Division is to employ safety standards that are directed to overall public health and safety. And with this, one of the key priorities is to ensure that there is no diversion to the black market and no diversion to minors. In November 2012, adult use marijuana for 21 years of age and older was approved by Colorado voters. In January 1st, 2014, the first retail 21 and over shops opened in Colorado. Durango Organics, I'm very proud to say, we were the first shop to open up here in Durango in October 2014, about 6 months after the initial shop started to open up in the state. At this time, the Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division became the Marijuana Enforcement Division, known as the MED, to regulate both sides of the industry. The Marijuana Enforcement Division has several rules in place that are meant to keep marijuana out of the hands of minors. From labeling with warnings, child-resistant packaging, restrictions on the shape of edibles, and the most serious of penalties, of course, is selling to minors. The Marijuana Enforcement Division, throughout this time, has set up several sting operations throughout the state to help ensure that stores are properly checking identification and complying with all rules and regulations. At our shop, Durango Organics, we take this extremely seriously. We not only check the IDs when a customer comes in, we check them visually and through electronic device, and then we also check them when they are checking out to make sure that we're following all the regulations and no one is slipping through the cracks, and that we're not selling to minors. One of the benefits of legalization is the information and conversations about all aspects of marijuana have become more mainstream. Legalization has given the ability for more medical research to be done as well. As a society, we're learning more about the medical benefits as well as the negative health effects. I think it's important to recognize that many people view marijuana as a medicine and that people of all ages have used it to treat serious conditions, such as the research that has shown reduced seizures with epilepsy and many other serious medical conditions. Legalization has also helped parents have more intelligent conversation with their kids about marijuana use. In places where marijuana is legal, teenagers are likely to see adults engaging in marijuana consumption. They will see them not only use it as a medicine, but also using it socially. Barbecues, parties, etc. So at this point, at this stage, it's important for parents to talk to their kids about the different types of products, to educate them on different forms of marijuana, and to differentiate the different sizes and shapes and things that they look like so kids and teenagers don't get confused and mistake them for other products. Parents and educators should also discuss with them how the teenage brain is still developing during the teen years and help them understand the negative effects of marijuana. We try to really point this out and educate people that teens, at this time, their brains are not fully developed, their bodies are still growing, and it's not the proper time to use marijuana products. And teenagers must also really understand the consequences, that it is illegal for them to possess and use marijuana, and they run the risk of getting arrested that could affect the rest of their life. When we were asked to do this, to come and be part of this panel, we pulled up a couple of recent surveys and have found that marijuana use among teens has dropped steadily in states where marijuana has been legalized, including Colorado, of course. At the federal level, there was a survey done by the National Survey on Drug Use and Health, and also another one done here in Colorado by the Colorado Department of Health and Environment. The results of these surveys came out most recently in December of 2017, so just a few months ago. The national survey found that the rate of adolescent marijuana use in Colorado had fallen to its lowest level in nearly a decade. And that's really before the medical marijuana and the recreational shops started to open up. And they also noted that it not just been marijuana, but also in the state of Colorado, we had seen a reduction in alcohol, tobacco, and heroin use had sharply fallen as well. The write-ups about these surveys also stated the drop in substance use among teens was due to states and local authorities overseeing the production and sale of marijuana. Another trend they saw that marijuana use among teens is falling nationwide and not just in states where it's been legalized. Furthermore, those in the 18 to 25 age range are reducing consumption of alcohol in states where they can legally purchase marijuana, which of course we believe has less health issues and a lot less things associated with it. So just as with any substance, any adults can have issues that have a negative effect on their life. And locally, there are several outreach organizations in our area that are there to help with teens with all sorts of issues, including addiction. Of course, they're celebrating healthy communities, there's Open Sky, and La Plata Youth Services has started a program called GRAM, Getting Real About Marijuana, which is focused on realistic conversations with teens about marijuana use. The group is based on harm reduction rather than abstinence, and we applaud this program, which revolved more around new legal area of marijuana and helped bring to light some of the newer information instead of the old scare tactics that we're all familiar with and which some of these young teens brought up. Personally, I don't honestly believe that marijuana is necessarily a gateway drug or a detriment to our society. I definitely know there are many medical benefits, myself included. It's been a tool that has really helped with my own medical issues. I think the key with marijuana and teens is education. Communication, conversation with them about marijuana and other substances will help them to understand the consequences of their choices they might encounter throughout their life. I strongly, as a parent, believe that it's the responsibility of us to make sure that we communicate these things with our children. Once again, I want to thank you for having me and letting us speak about what we do, and I look forward to taking questions here in a little bit, so thank you.